Hello. Hello. Alrighty. Hello. Sweet. Howdy. Thank you for tuning in, Alberto. Can you hear me? Just confirming. You can hear me? Cool. Alrighty, so even though I said that we wanted to do OCN and Dragon last night, people still requested OCN and Dragon. But let's take a look at what our other options are. Stellar Lumens, Walton Coin, Lux. Do Poly. Let's start pulling these up. So XLM. It's a good high cap one to look at. Poly. I like Poly. Let's see. Can look at Lux. And let's see, two more. Let's see, I just did some charts for ICX the other day. But we can look at it again, see, look at more short term. See what's going on with it. And Nebel. I don't know what IDH is. We can see what IDH is. Oh wow, small micro cap. Nebel. at Nebel. And if we have time, we can GTO. Let's see. GTO. Sure, we can look at this as well. Alrighty. So thank you all for tuning in. Before we get started, I would appreciate if everyone could throw a like and a subscribe to this YouTube account. Would just help me in general. But other than that, let's jump right into XLM. So I'm gonna go starting at the 4-hour chart. This is normally a good idea just to see what the long-term trends are. Find some past supports and resistances from a long time ago. Let's see, maybe this was our, we had this before, right? This was our previous downtrend, and then we broke out of it, beginning of April or whatever this month is. And okay, let's see. Let's draw a little fib retracement and see what we can find from here. If anything lines up. Trying to see which one fits the best to the data we have. It's hard to necessarily say. What if we have our top over here? This is our top, right? And I don't know. I like that. But this hasn't really been actually mapped out yet. So yes, that's the thing about drawing fib retracements. Okay, I can't really find a good one for this longer term. But okay, also we can just show you guys this. This is just a clear, this is a pennant, right? The triangle, lower highs, higher lows up until the very tip, and then it breaks out to the bottom where it continues a much longer downtrend where it looks like, it kind of found support. I don't know. Maybe, okay, obviously there's some kind of support here. Maybe something, yeah, there's probably some kind of bottom support or little trend line kind of going, I don't know, it's kind of ugly because there's all this action right in here, so I'll remove that. Either way, I don't think the stuff down here matters too much. I don't think that we'll go back down to this territory for such a huge project like Stellar Lumens. So I don't think it's important that we analyze down here too much. But I think what we can do is we can probably draw a fib retracement somewhere in here. Yeah, see, this is nice because we have confirmations of this. Right here, we have a confirmation right here. We have, clearly acting as resistance. Here it's support. Here we see support. And then I drew it here. So it looks like what might be happening is, actually, okay, if we move this down a little bit to here, right, actually lines up more nicely with most of this stuff. What might be happening is, so we bounced off of it, we came back down, we had a retracement to the 618 level, and then we came out, we broke out, and this happens a lot of the time during breakouts. You see it breaks out and then it comes and retests the resistance as a support. So what might be happening now, I'm looking at a 4-hour time frame. What might be happening now is that it came, it retested it as support, retesting it again, support. So as long as this holds, the next general target would be, if we draw a horizontal line from here, somewhere in between, the resistance that would be provided by this high and the 618, I would say that this would be your next XLM target. which is, keep in mind this is a high cap, so your profit margins are generally smaller on these. But if you go, it's 25% to the very bottom of our range there. So that's a possibility. I had fun with the GAN and fib speed resistance fan the other night, so we could see if this gives us any insight. Well, okay, there's a clear. Those two, this high here and this high here clearly line up. So this looks nice, right? Let's take the colors away. And the background. But if we get rid of this, if we just look at what's going on here, then, so right here, this looks nice, right? This 0.5, this kind of acts as the 3821, acts as support. This was obviously what we drew. So, right now we're, I guess, playing along whipsaws, as these are called, playing along this, and whether or not if it goes up past here, actually, I imagine that we would find our top, our next significant resistance somewhere in this area. Now, if you're looking to buy again, well, if you remember what our what our fib or our normal fib retracement was looking like, from here to here, I think was what we had. If it breaks down through here, I think that you would want. Well, I would first of all, I would say it's probably a good idea to at least start laddering your buys here, because it could very well bounce off of this support. But if not, you would ladder your buys between the 1 and the 786 down to here, where it acted as a clear support in this area. So, okay, one thing, this is bearish, is that the volume has been going down since we broke out. Now, this might just be a sign that there's been some resistance pushing it down and people aren't interested in it staying here. People would be more interested in it going up rather than just staying here. So once we see some major breakout, we could, we'd obviously see some more volume. But that's hard to say. If we go and look at a shorter time frame and just kind of look at what's going on here specifically, let's look at the 1 hour. Could draw a trend line. Yeah, something like that, right? So this could be another case for us bouncing right here off of that support, and then we might have something going on here. I don't know if this plays into it at all, but some kind of parallel channel here going up. So yeah, you might see a bounce here, bouncing between these two channels. But yeah, so that's lumens for you. Should give you a general idea of what your options are. So with that, we can move on to polymath. This is one of my favorite smaller cap coins, only on KuCoin and Bittrex right now, which is, it's not small, it's not micro cap, but it's not a huge cap. Obviously, I mean, just looking at this chart, it's clear to see that this is bottomed out. It's starting to recover. If we look at what's going on here, we can see a clear support here. This is going to be fast. Clear support here, probably some kind of pennant forming here, and easy to be said, this Ichimoku cloud also agrees that there's some kind of resistance here. So what you would want to do is how you play anytime you see a pattern like this. If you're looking to just do a swing trade or a short-term trade, or even if you're looking to get a long entry, you would wait to see a breakout of, probably I'd say the best bet would be you want to see a breakout of the top of this Iji cloud, so somewhere around 5,800 sats. you'd set your stop order, and if it breaks out past here, you buy it, and your target. Fundamentally, this coin is sound, so I think we're going to be making new all-time highs. Um, and then come the next alt season, once they start putting out some more updates, but obviously the all-time high somewhere around here. This is going to be an important level. And maybe if we draw it's all white from the last chart. If we draw this, you might be able to find places to take profits along these fib levels. So 79, 91, 10K, 12K, and then finally the all-time high. And then once we get past there, it's hard to say exactly where we'll go. Also, I'm basing the top of this fib retracement on some of this price action right when it was listed, which is often FOMO and not really indicative of actually how things are going to go. So you have to be careful with that. And let's just look at the daily and see. Nothing too new comes. Makes this look a little bit cleaner. Obviously, this is obviously some kind of accumulation area. So you're waiting to see a breakout to enter your position. And if it breaks down here, then try and get a buy somewhere somewhere close to this all-time low. That's really all there is to this one. It's a pretty simple chart, relatively. So let's move on. We've done XLM and we've done Poly. By the way, while I'm doing this, guys, feel free to ask questions in the chat. I have this open on my other screen, so if you guys have any questions about anything that's going on, need clarification about anything, just say the word. So let's look at what's going on with Lux. Lux is privacy coin, super cheap, microcap on Cryptopia. Actually has like one of the most expensive master nodes out there. Tons of people mining this one, which is a good sign as far as a coin goes. Let me change the candle colors to black so they show up better on this chart. All right, so this was a pattern I saw a while ago. I was hoping that we'd see a break to the upside here, but it broke to the downside. But as long as you don't trade before you see a breakout confirmation, you're good. And so, as far as entering buy, I didn't buy any more here because it broke to the bottom. I could have sold. I'm actually still holding on just because I entered so low. I got in down way back before here. Took some profits on the way up, but still back out a little all the way back down. So let's see. Obviously, it looks like we've kind of found some area of support here. If we draw our favorite Fibonacci retracement, yeah, it looks like it lines up pretty nicely with the 0.5 level. So somewhere between this 0.5 level and the 0.618 level, there's some kind of support resistance going on in here. Maybe let's see if we just chart the breakout from here. Yeah, I like. Let's look at this. Could be that just around the 0.5. Yeah, actually, I think this is the best fib retracement that we're gonna find because, this. So the reason why I thought this was gonna break out to the top is because, if you're looking at the fractals here, you see almost an identical pattern right here. The same, flat top, ascending bottom, and this one broke out strongly to the top, right? So I was hoping that we'd see some similar price action here, but it didn't turn out that way. So yeah, I mean, it seems like there's some kind of support going on right here around you know, above 0.001, you know, maybe a little bit below, and there's going to be a clear, you know, if it drops down as far as, you know, 96,000 sats, you know, there's going to be a clear support from this. So, you know, if you're looking to enter, you could start laddering your buys where we are now um, down to about, you know, down to here. So, you know, you have a solid 10% range there to get your entries in. If you're looking for targets where it might go in the future, well, this has quite the high highs over here, way up here. So if you were to draw a longer term, you know, Fibonacci retracement, see where we see what fits. You always have to be, you know, generous with your fib retracements, you know, and see, you know, you gotta move it around and see what kind of works with, you know, the price history, and see where the supports and resistances line up, and, you know, if you can futz with it a little to get it to line up nicely with the rest of, you know, the supports and resistances that are clear, then that's generally a good plan. I'm not really finding anything. I'd like to line up one of them with this resistance here, but nothing's really coming really cleanly there. You know, we could do that, but then, you know, none of the other lines line up with anything. So yeah, there's not really a good answer there. So we can just look at general. So here's our, you know, our all-time high. I'm gonna look at a daily chart just to clean up some of this noise. So, something here. There's definitely some kind of resistance that's gonna be here, and I'm saying that because this candle, and these two candles here, and there's probably, you know, shorter term action that happened on this line around there. And let's see. Ooh. Yeah, this actually, if you extend this all the way over, kind of, it agrees with this right here. I don't know so much about that. It looks like there's something else going on, you know, here as well, as far as support and resistance goes. But yeah, I mean, so you can look towards it. So here's the Ichimoku cloud. You know, resistance often will be found when you're hitting the top line of this. You know, so these can give you a good general idea of the targets. The price history isn't super nice. It's kind of unclear, hard to draw supports and resistances on this one. And I think a part of the reason for that fact is that it is a microcap coin, which, you know, kind of messes up TA a lot. You know, because, you know, one guy just buying a Bitcoin can, you know, throw it way off the charts. So yeah, there's Lux for you. ICX. So I don't know if you guys are following this on Twitter, but I had this cup and handle nicely drawn that played out beautifully. And you can see that here. So that's, you know, starting at this top. You see, you know, this is your, I don't know why I drew this over here, but yeah, so this is your cup. And then we handled down here. You know, it's small relatively, but that's not illegal. So, you know, this was some kind of handle, right? And then we broke out past the top. And now what we're doing, as we mentioned on the first coin that we were looking at, right? So if this is the previous resistance, we're coming back down, and we're retesting this resistance as support. And so really what we have to decide is, well, are we going to keep going up from here, or are we going to break back down? And so the bearish case is that this is a head and shoulders pattern. You know, pretty easy to see, but you know, you can't say that it's a head and shoulders pattern until it breaks out, and it has to break out past the neckline, right? So it has to break back below for it to actually be confirmed, because you know, this kind of candle pattern can happen for other reasons. And so it's not, you know, when you see this, it's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to break down. And you know, the head and shoulders can also be considered an accumulation pattern, and then you know, it does this and then it breaks up. But you know, that's the bearish case. And let me look a little bit and see if we can find a bullish case for this. You know, obviously fundamentally we're bullish. Let's see. So if you know, I'm seeing a little green candle starting to form right at the end here. So if this really is a support, then we're having a little trend line come up like that. And no, okay, so there's obviously some clear top right here that it didn't want to go past, vis-a-vis these two bounces off of it. And you know, it's possible that this is some kind of pennant that we're forming, and so we'll bounce off the bottom of this and then break out the top. And you know, if you're a day trader and just trying to make tiny little profits, you could buy here and sell here for, you know, a little under 10%. But you know, based on the size of this cup and handle pattern, normally the breakouts of this are relative in size. So you know, you would see a breakout much higher. And you know, as far as targets are concerned, you know, you can look back here, see what's going on, maybe. So actually, this, you know, resistance that we saw here is probably confirmed by you know, this stuff over here. And then you know, all the only thing that's clear past, you know, we could probably even bring it over here. Obviously, this is a, you know, area of interest for some people. You know, this 52 level, and past that, let's look at the daily chart. If it loads, it might just want to crash. Let me refresh the page. Oh no, I'm exiting out of the page. We can look at it again, reload it up here. One day, alright, here's the daily chart. Yeah, so this 2618 kind of lines up nicely with our all-time high resistance here. And this 1618 level kind of lines up nicely with, you know, this, right? So this might be some, because you see all these candles plucking down into here and then bouncing back up off. So you know, these are plausible targets along the way to making a new all-time high. So yeah, there's ICX for you. Nebel. Is this Neblius or Nebli? I'm not sure. I forget what it stands for. I just remember Ian Bellina talking about it. All right. This is what I immediately see. You know, as you chart more and more, you can look at a chart, and a lot of the time you'll just instantly see like a pattern or a support or a resistance, and you know, that just comes with sitting yourself in front of a computer and charting until your eyes are red, and then you know, you go to bed and you wake up and you do it again, and so after you chart for a while, you know, you just kind of get used to seeing this stuff. But let's see. So there's a couple options. Option one is that Well, it's possible that we're right at this resistance right now, right? Just via this candle and this candle, maybe this and here. It's kind of ugly. Let's look at the 4-hour instead. Kind of ugly. I think what's more likely is that this is some kind of longer term support turns resistance trend line, and I think that's further confirmed. Stretching. That's further confirmed by this right here and the fact that they're nearly parallel, which is generally a sign that they're somehow related. And if you can go this far back in the price history and this resistance starts acting as a support, it's clear. So obviously, um, this kind of area here is some kind of area of resistance for a Nebel. And it looks like we couldn't break out through there. We might be trying again. The volume looks nice, but I would definitely wouldn't buy it right now. I would only buy it. Oh, let's see. Let's look at our trusty fib retracement. And see what we get. Maybe this is more of a bottom. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. This lines up nicely with a lot of things. So here's our bottom, right? And then resistance, support right here. This 236 acted as support a bunch of times. And then you can kind of see how it plays off of these fib levels nicely. So I like this. So if you're trying to re-enter, you would want to start putting your buy orders, assuming you're bullish in a mid long term on these alts, which I think the market's starting to turn around. So you wouldn't want to try and only set your orders down here. I think that you could ladder buys, from the 786 to the 0.5. This clearly acted as a resistance, which would mean it would act as an equally strong support. If it came back down to this, you definitely want to start buying here at the 786. And the 618, there's a little bit of action here in it. And then right here definitely acted as, not as strong. And the 0.5 doesn't, once here, there was a bounce. But apart from that, it doesn't look like there's too much price history, but it doesn't mean it won't. So yeah, because the 618 and 0.5 aren't super strong, they're clearly there. You want your buys between from 154 to 135, which is roughly it's a little bit over 10% area to buy, which is fine. So yeah, and then your target to take profit would naturally be along this trend resistance whenever it hit that again. And then you could look at from there. You just want to look at what the previous highs a long time ago were, and the fib retracement levels. So you could see something here as a target. I don't know what to think of this stuff. This is kind of ridiculous. Look at these candles. There's clearly some kind of FOMO going on in here, so this isn't really reliable price to do technical analysis with, because a move from 40,000 sats to 10x to 440,000 sats in the matter of 1, 2, 3 days. 3 days at 10x, right? That's FOMO at its finest. So this stuff you can't really rely on. But taking profits along this trend line at at the high of here, obviously there's some FOMO going on here and here, but you could look at the 1618 for a level to take profit. There's a couple options. So yeah, there is NEBL, and finally, I can look at ShipChain after GTO. I think we have enough time for that. These ones have been short. It's only been about 30 minutes, so. Sweet. GTO. Grand Theft something. Oh. Alright, so clearly there's some kind of resistance here, right? You know, obviously we broke past, but we came back down. Bounce, bounce. So there's some kind of serious resistance at 7,000 sats here for GTO. And on an equally strong level, there's some kind of serious support, you know, here. So this is, you know, it's obviously trending between this range, not really coming out of it at all in its history despite these huge volume spikes. And, you know, this makes it really easy to draw your fib levels, because you already have your top and your bottom just so, whoops. You have your top and your bottom clearly made here, right? So, you know, each time it hit this top, it came all the way back down. So, you know, things aren't looking too great. Just from, you know, I don't know anything about this project fundamentally, if they have anything coming out, but purely from a technical standpoint, you know, I would only start buying this project, you know, when it came back down somewhere in this area. Just because, I mean, looking at this, you know, you hit the top and you come all the way back down to the bottom, and that's just how it trades. It's how it ranges. So I mean, yeah, it's pretty simple. There's nothing too complex about that. I wish I could give some more bullish outlook on this, but you know, there isn't anything really bullish to say about it. You know, maybe we'll find support on this trend line. Maybe you'll find support on this, something going on here. You know, these are all possibilities. But you know, as far as breaking out, going higher than we are, I think we already had our pump. You know, between the beginning of this month and start of May here. You know, this was 25 to 68. You know, a bit over 2x. So nothing to be ashamed of. It's just the coin. I don't know. What is it? What is it doing volume wise? It's on Binance, 518 Bitcoins. You know, it's not. What is GTO Ghetto Coin market cap? What is Gifto? Oh, I've heard of this. 222 million. Wow, so it's definitely not a small cap. It just has a weird price trading range. Well, there you have it. That is that. Okay, so ShipChain. I think Ship is only trading on IDEX, isn't it? I don't think anywhere. Oh, hit Bitcoin. Interesting. Is this the same Ship? It might be. I don't know any other Ship. ShipChain. Hit BTC. Yeah, it was added on. All right, so yeah, this is it. I want to look at IDEX and just see, because there might be more price history on IDEX, because it was probably trading right after the tokens were released, because that's the way IDEX is. It's taking a long ass time to load. Ship. 81 ETH of volume. Nothing huge, but people are trading it. Yeah, you cannot auto this shit. Absolutely not. Let's see. This is back to the 15th. Here we have. There's a little bit more price history on IDEX. So yeah, let's look at this chart. Unfortunately for stuff like this, it's hard to do TA on it because there's literally no real price history. You know, it's just out of the ICO. So there's not a whole lot that you can say about it, but you know, we can draw some lines and make some generalized predictions. So clearly we had this, and this broke out to the top, and you know, that was wonderful. If we draw a fib retracement, we see something like that. this looks nice. Some clear support here and resistance here, so that's a nice fib retracement. So if you're looking to enter it, just ladder your orders along these fib levels. That's the best move. Really, this coin is bottomed out. I don't know exactly what its ICO price was, but it hasn't really had any real movement. Its bottom was 18 and its top was 34, so it almost 2x, but that's it's all the way back down to 23. So from its all-time low at 17k, it's only up. What is that from here to where? To here, it's only up 40%. So, as far as ICOs go, especially something like ShipChain, infrastructure is a huge industry already. So, if this really takes off, this could be multi-billion-dollar market cap. So, anything in here is just chump change. But, that's from a fundamental. Technically, you want to ladder your buys somewhere along these fib levels. And as far as volume goes, clearly, there's a lack of interest in it going down because this is we've seen almost no volume as it's puttered down, so that kind of means that some kind of volatility is probably about to happen, and hopefully that'll be to the upside because we want to see some gains on Ship. I'm a big fan of ShipChain. The only problem I have with them is their CEO and his history, but everyone else looks good and they have some solid partnerships lined up, so yeah. Well, I think I did 7. So I hope that was helpful and informative for you all. You all learned something, found some places to get your bids. Before I go, I'd appreciate if you haven't already to like the video, throw a subscription my way. And I hope that I will be doing this again soon, probably not until at least next weekend, but yeah, so yeah, next time just stay updated on my Twitter. I'll put out another post saying throw your charts, and I'll pick a couple more to do for you guys. So yeah, are there any questions? Not another chart please, but any other questions that I can answer for you before I hop off here? I can stay on here a little bit longer. If not, I guess that will be that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know there's not very many of you, but this TA stuff can be a little dull. But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will see you all next time.